Okay guys, welcome back to my TNA Impact Wrestling review for May 3rd, 2012. Overall, I gotta say, I wasn't a big fan of this show. Now that I think about it, they didn't have any ODB Eric Young skits on here tonight, but yeah, overall, just didn't really care much for this one. Matches weren't that good, and this gut check thing, oh man, but I'll get to that. So they recap the show. They start the show off with a recap of the amazing, huge, awesome Garrett versus Eric Bischoff angle with the porta potty of pudding from last week. Horrible. Could care less about this. Flair comes out. He cuts an insane promo, says he's Rick G.O.D. Flair. He calls out Hogan. Hogan comes out, and Flair says Hogan is good and he's evil. It's just so bizarre. Hogan says Bischoff was the evil one, and Hogan asks Flair to be a judge on gut check. Hogan says that they can live through the new talent, and they can live forever, brother. Flair freaks out and says, "You setting me up again? You setting me up again?" And Hogan says, "No, I'm not setting you up. I know you care about the business." And then Flair just accepts. That was it. The only thing I'm hoping is, please, God, please, no Flair versus Hogan at Bound for Glory. We do not need to see this, and I got a bad feeling. Just seeing these two guys in the ring cutting promos looked sad. And in a match, oh my gosh, no. Bad idea, TNA. So then we get Velvet and Tessmacher backstage talking about Gail being a cheater. Velvet and Tessmacher versus Gail and Madison. This was not very good. The timing was off big time for this match. At one point, Madison gets, I think it was Velvet, in that move where she's banging their face into the mat, and Earl Hebner says, "Get off of her," or something. She says, "She likes it, wouldn't you?" And for some reason, that stuck out in my mind. I don't know if anybody else caught that, but it just was a really weird thing to say. But eventually, Brooke Tessmacher gets a hot tag. She actually hits Gail with her own finishing move, Eat Defeat, and gets the win. They show a clip of Jeff Jarrett versus Raven from 2003, old TNA match to promote Slammiversary, the 10th anniversary. Then I was thinking, because of Tenay and Taz on commentary, I had actually heard, and this is horrible, that Tenay and Taz are actually doing voiceovers for the tapings from Nashville. They're not even there. They're watching the tapes and they're doing the commentary over it. That is a horrible idea, and it just makes it feel just so phony. It's just another small thing that TNA's done that can affect things long term. Just small little mistakes like that can build up over time, and I really think it's a shame that they don't even have the announcers there live to get live reactions. It's just a phoned in, let me watch the tape and act surprised type of feeling, and that is a horrible idea. RVD comes out. He cuts kind of a heel promo here. He talks about how great he is. Now, I know that back in the day that was kind of RVD's thing, and it worked back then, but now it came off as kind of heelish to me. Bobby Roode comes out, says RVD's overconfident and that he's the most dominant champion in TNA history. RVD picks Mr. Anderson for Bobby Roode to wrestle tonight, and Roode picks Jeff Hardy for RVD. They show some stuff for Sacrifice. I don't know if it's just me, but the Sacrifice logo makes me think Batman. Which I guess, if you think about it, could lead to Joker Sting. But I'm thinking about that way too much. Then we get Rob Terry with Robbie E versus Devon for the TV title. The best thing about this match, another bad match, was Devon's on the ground and Rob Terry just slaps the shit out of the back of this man's head. Hard. And you can see Devon look up and turn his head and say, "Oh shit," like that. Somebody else has had to have seen this. But anyway, the match itself was bad. Robbie E gets involved, cracks the clipboard over Devon's head, lays him out. Rob Terry gets disqualified. Al Snow and Flair are talking backstage. The third judge comes up. It's Bruce Pritchard. The judges are debating Ric Flair is a heel judge. They play this dramatic music, and then they start arguing over the fans, how they need the fans. Flair says, "We don't need them, I don't respect them." It was just ridiculous. No one could give a damn about this. Backstage, Hogan's telling Anderson that he was picked to go against Roode. Hogan makes it a no DQ match. Anderson's like, "I can use chairs?" He's like, "You can use chairs. No DQ for you." This was so stupid. And it doesn't make sense. Why would Hogan want Anderson to go out there and use chairs and injure the world champion? I mean, I know he's a heel, but he's like wanting him to go out there and hurt this man. Bad general managing right here. Then we go Jeff Hardy versus RVD. Hardy throws RVD into the ropes. Well, first of all, Bobby Roode comes down with the title. Hardy throws RVD into the ropes, but he reverses it. Hardy hits the ropes. Roode hits Hardy in the back with the title. RVD kicks Hardy and gets the win. This was clearly supposed to be Bobby Roode hitting RVD so Hardy can get the win, but it's like because of the reversal, he didn't really pay attention and hit Hardy. Bad. Another bad thing here. Then we get Joe Parks backstage telling Bully that he's going to prove he did something to Abyss. Bully threatens him and says that if he keeps snooping around, they won't find him. I find this intriguing for some sick, twisted reason. I know it's Joe Parks. I know it's Abyss looking for Abyss. However, because I have no idea how they can possibly do this, I guess it could just lead up to Joe Parks accepting a match, making it a hardcore match, and then beating Bully Ray, and then Abyss returns. I guess that's probably what's going to happen, but for some reason I find these weekly segments intriguing. Jeremy Borash is talking about Eric Bischoff. Bully Ray comes up, bullies him. He drags him to the ring. He says he's tired of all the anti-bullying. He wants to start the "quit being a little bitch and stand up for yourself" campaign. He tries to get Borash to punch him. Borash never does. I thought that was the big money shot, but it never happens. Austin Aries comes out, says that for most of his career he was Blubber Ray, and says he was the poster boy for all-you-can-eat buffets and diabetes. Ray gets in his face, and Austin hits him with a big left hand, I believe. This looked like a legit punch. I'm sure they talked about it, and Bully said, "You know what, out there, go ahead and hit me with a real one." And then Austin Aries goes off on him. The officials come, pull Aries off. Bully Ray low blows him and then leaves. And you can see the Bully's mouth is legit busted open. They advertise Storm speaking out next week, returning. Backstage, Kazarian and Christopher Daniels are talking. Angle comes up and says he only cares about beating AJ at Sacrifice. Daniels says, "Why is he always grumpy? He always wins matches." Then we see Bobby Roode saying he's going to stick his nose in Hogan's business since he's always in his. We get Kurt Angle, Kazarian and Daniels versus AJ, Samoa Joe, and Magnus. This was a good match. I really like this one. Angle is definitely turning babyface. He's pushing his tag partners. He's spitting at them. He gets AJ in the ankle lock, but Kazarian tags himself in. Styles hits the Styles Clash on Kazarian and gets the win. Afterwards, Angle is threatening Daniels and leaves, and then Daniels cuts a promo saying next week they will reveal the evidence they have on AJ unless AJ himself comes forward and confesses. A friend of mine and me were talking about this, and we could see AJ actually turning heel, joining up with Kazarian and Daniels, and they're having like another heel faction, I guess, and then Angle will become the babyface. So I could definitely see that happening next week. Then the judges come out. Excuse me. They call out Alex Silva, the gut check contestant from last week. They play some more dramatic music. Flair says no. Snow says yes. He needs 2 yes votes to get the contract. They give him 30 seconds to convince Bruce Pritchard, and he starts talking to his father who passed away. Flair takes the mic and says, "Don't talk to the marks. Start again." I don't know. I know he didn't mean this man's father, but still, it came off kind of weird, at least to me. So he starts again, and he does a good promo about how he came from Canada. He fought all this way. He says he's going to get his contract instead of contract. And Flair actually says after this, "Wow, you convinced me. I'm changing my vote to yes." So he's already won. Bruce Pritchard says it's a good thing they gave him that second chance because he would have said no, and so he gets the contract. Then we get Mr. Anderson versus Roode in a no DQ match. Hardy runs in and attacks Bobby Roode. Anderson hits Hardy with a mic check. Roode hits Anderson with a chair and wins with a fisherman suplex. Roode just starts wailing on both guys with chairs. After the match, an RVD runs out and chases him off. However, Roode returns, hits RVD with a chair, and lays him out with a DDT onto the chair. That was it. A lot of just too much in this week's show. I thought the show didn't have enough good matches. The tag match was pretty good. The main event was decent, but they just did too much this week. I thought the gut check stuff didn't really care for, and like just this ending segment had all these run-ins, like 2 run-ins, and then the Hardy RVD match had Bobby Roode mean to hit RVD, but he hits Hardy. Just too much shit. Just calm it down, TNA. So, yeah, that's what I thought of this week's episode. I hope you guys like this review. I'm about to leave to go watch The Avengers tonight at midnight, so I will have that review up here in a few hours. So leave your thoughts on tonight's show in the comments below. And that's it, guys. So thanks for watching.